we continue where we were in the part 1, that is of introduction to database, the very first unit. Now, what are the typical DBMS functions? Number 1, you first define database, that is you construct your database, you determine the types of database you want, clear the database structures and the various database constraints which are imposed on the data structures. Then we load the database, means load the database, that is construct loaded database. That means what? We fill data into the tables. Okay. And these tables are stored on a secondary storage media such as hard disk, or you can do it on a USB drive or on a pen drive also. Then we manipulate the database. The third function of DBMS software is manipulating database. Data querying done by the end users, generating reports on the basis of the queries, inserting, adding more records to database. For example, that if there are 125 employees into a company and say 20 more have joined in the current month, then you can add more data. Then somebody has left, then you can delete the data. Somebody has changed his address or his contact number, then you can do modifications to the existing data. So all this comes under data manipulation. This is what we call as DML commands. The fourth feature of DBMS function is concurrent processing and sharing. When I say concurrent processing and sharing, that means that multiple users can access the same piece of database or the same database file at a single point of time. So the information is integrated as well as shared among multiple users at the same time, keeping data accurate, valid and consistent. Okay. Now the other important functions which are provided by DBMS include protecting your database, that is securing it from unauthorized or those users who are not part of your organization. Then maintaining the database and associated programs over a long period of time, presenting and visualizing data for the top management. Now, why database came to being? I'll tell you very clearly. From the 1960s, okay, when we had the computers, clear to the 1980s, we had about traditional file processing systems. We have got traditional file management systems, but because there were certain limitations or drawbacks of file processing systems, okay, so we are now using database systems. Only yes, when you have got a small shop or small retail store, or somebody has opened a new office or business shop, then it is not necessary to have a database, big software like Oracle or this. If you've got a small retail store, you need not need a database. But if you've got an organization, then you need a database system. So what are the demerits? Sorry. So the demerits of traditional file systems were one is what program data dependence. That means that there was a lot of dependence which was there between the application programs and your data structures or your databases. The second is a lot of duplication of data. Are you getting it? Like we are storing Excel files or Word files, then we are giving to multiple users, we are maintaining multiple copies for our business users. So a lot of wastage of data, inconsistent data because of what? Multiple copies of data being given to multiple users. Then one copy is being updated and it has to be updated for all users. So a lot of inconsistencies or duplicacies or redundancies arise in the database system. Then loss of metadata integrity. Okay, the same data has got different data names in different files. Like one time you are calling employee code, then somebody says code, somebody says e-code, somebody says EMPNO, and so on. Clear? And which people use on basis of the usage. Clear? Then limited data sharing. Yes, in the traditional file systems, the drawback before database system came into being, we had got traditional file processing systems, clear, where there was little or no data sharing. So the very important two characteristics of the database was database integrated and number two, database is shared. So this data sharing capability was not there when we did not have database systems. Then lengthy development time. Yes, developing what? Information system applications are getting software applications were taking too much time. Why? Because you didn't have database system. You simple had file management systems. Then excessive cost or overhead cost is incurred to maintain your software applications. Now, what are the advantages? So, what are the advantages of using a database DBMS? So, we just in the previous slide we cited what the limitations or demerits of using file systems, because of which database system came into being. Now, what are the main advantages, core advantages of using a database management system such as Oracle, Sybase, Ingress, Unify, so on? Number one, controlling the redundancy or the duplicacy or the inconsistency of data is very important, and this will be studying as a part of normalizing database also. So controlling, when you have a DBMS system, you have little or no redundancy. That means the redundancy means what? The duplication or the unnecessary or the inconsistency in the data is being eliminated. Second advantage, restricting unauthorized access. That means that only those users who are part of the organization, who belong to the organization, are supposed to access the database, and so database being secured from unauthorized users. Okay, so people from the external world will not be able to access data because it has got a feature of securing data also. Third is providing persistent storage for program objects and data structures. Okay, that means when I say persistent storage, that means today if you have made a database file, okay, into say 2020, the same file you can access 2021, 22, whatever point of time in the future. Clear? And you can also, and not only that, if that file has been modified more than 20 times in the next 2 years, all the versions of data are being there. Clear? Fourth advantage is permitting inference and actions using what? Database rules. Then providing multiple user interfaces. That means multiple are getting from a same system. Okay, I can log into different users, okay, on my organization, and I can access the same what? Employee file. Okay, or I can access the same inventory file. Whatever common file which is commonly accessed by the different users. Then representing complex relationships. Yes, I told you that in the next slides I'll be telling you that they are entity sets. For example, I've got employee is an entity. I've got data department as entity. Now, what is the relationship between employee and department? Employee works for department. So every employee, when he joins the company, he gets what? Enrolled in, or he gets observed in some department of the company. Clear? So this is what relationship among data. And I can have multiple relationships also. Then enforcing what? Database integrity constraints. Like if I say that employee code, no two employees can have the same employee code, or no two students can have the same roll number in a university. Clear? They might be having same name. I can be having 50 Amit Kumar in a university. Clear? But every Amit Kumar will be having a different roll number. So this that is what? That roll number column or roll number column of the table student of the database file student is nothing but a primary key. So this is what you enforce integrity constraints. Similarly, if I give you another example in enforcing integrity constraints. If I say mobile number, now tell me, do any two students, do they have the same mobile number? So if in your class there are 60 students, everybody will be having a different mobile number. Similarly, if in a company there are say lakhs of employees, then everybody has got a different mobile number. Now, what is that mobile number? What type of constraint? Unique. It's what is that? Unique. The unique means what? No two persons will have the same what? Mobile number. Then providing backup and recovery. Then having concept data independence. Okay, improving the data shareability. Increasing the application development productivity. That is developing more and more front-end applications than that single database. Okay, so we have got some set of database files. I can build multiple softwares or applications based on that set of database files. Then enforcement of data standards. All these are nothing but advantages using a DBMS. Clear? Now I'll show you a very simple picture. See, what is this? You've got a database which is stored here. You've got a metadata which is here. Clear? That means what is the metadata? Telling information which is the master table, which is the transaction table, what are the types of keys, foreign keys, primary keys, unique constraint, null constraint, and all these. What type of constraints are there in the table? What is the purpose of every table? That that description, what is the purpose of the table, that means describing the table, why it is being created. All this is nothing but metadata. So storing information, okay, about your data or about your different database files is nothing but called as metadata. Okay, then you have got a software to access store data. You've got a software to what? Process your database queries or programs. What is this software? This software is nothing but DBMS, which could be Oracle, could be Sybase, could be Ingress. Then you got application programs or queries which are designed on the top of database. And finally, the user access. Now, user access only the application programs or users only queries your data. Clear? I'll just giving you a simple database schema or a structure. See, this is just it's the 4 tables I am giving you. There could be more also. Like, see, the very first table. What is the name of the table? Or tell me what is the name of the table? Course. This table, see, has got 4 columns: course name, course number, credit hours, department. Clear? I repeat: course name, course number, credit hours, and department. So in this course table, are you getting it? You see that course number is sort of what? Key attribute. Are you getting it? Course number is sort of what? Key attribute. Now, if you see that, are you getting it? So these are different courses we have. Clear? Okay. And every course has got a certain number of credits. This also you also have in a university. Every subject got certain number of credits. Okay. Then that credit is nothing but weightage, because on the basis of these credits or weightage, your CGPA is calculated, or your SGPA, semester grade performance aggregate, is calculated. Then you got sections here. The second table is sections, in which the column is section identifier, course number, semester, year, and instructor. Are you getting it? If you see this table, the combination of section ID, are you getting it? The combination of section ID and course number is nothing but the key. This is what I repeat. The combination of section ID along with course number forms the key table, or the primary key of the table what? Section. Then you got a grade report. The grade, yes. Which student has got which grade? Now again see, student whose roll number is 17, clear, he gets a grade B in subject what? In section ID 112. What is the section ID 112? What is he studying? Math 2410. That is discrete mathematics. Now the same student having roll number 17 is getting grade C in section ID what? Section identifier 119. What is this 119? CS 1310. See the second table section. And what is CS 1330? If you see the first table, what is CS 130? Introduction to computer science. So in introduction to computer science, the roll number 17 who's got student number gets grade C. Now tell me, what do you think? What do you think is the key attribute? In very clear, यहाँ पे जो primary key है या key attribute combination वो क्या है? Student number along with section identifier. तो ये दोनों attributes या columns मिला के primary key है. किस table के? Grade report. Now every subject, like if I say you data mining. Now if I am studying a subject called data mining or data warehousing, can I have studied this subject data mining or data warehousing without having knowledge of database? No, not at all. Clear? Are you getting it? Similarly, if I want to study subject database, what do you think is quite important? I should having good knowledge of data structures. Okay, at least what are database structures, what is index files, what are direct storage files, what are sequential files, what are stacks, what are queues, what are linked list, and so on. So these are you getting it? So if you see this, that for studying a subject, say course number CS3380, the prerequisites or the person should be having knowledge of what? CS3320 and Math 2410. That means that for studying this CS3380, which is nothing but database systems, he should be having knowledge of, elementary knowledge of what? Discrete mathematics as well as what? Introduction to data structures. Why? I'm saying CS3320. If you go to the course table, what is CS3320? Data structures. Again, if you go to course table, what is Math 2410? It is discrete mathematics. Got it? समझ आ रहा है? क्लियर है? अब सिंपल आप देखिए लास्ट CS3320 एक सब्जेक्ट है, कोर्स है, जिसका प्री रिक्विजिट क्या है? CS130. Now what is the CS3320? CS3320 if you go to course table it was data structures. क्या लगता है? डेटा स्ट्रक्चर पढ़ने के लिए हमारा क्या कंसेप्ट क्लियर चाहिए? हमारा कंप्यूटर साइंस की कंसेप्ट क्लियर होना चाहिए, बेसिक्स ऑफ कंप्यूटर साइंस पता होना चाहिए, यानी इंट्रोडक्शन टू कंप्यूटर साइंस. क्लियर? Now this is I've shown you. See, अब इस यूनिवर्सिटी डेटाबेस में क्या क्या टेबल्स हैं? स्टूडेंट टेबल है, कोर्स टेबल है. देखिए टेबल रिलेशन मतलब टेबल्स, रिलेशंस और आल्सो कॉल्ड एज एंटिटी सेट्स और टेबल्स. तो ऑरेकल के कंटेक्स्ट में या DB2 या MS एक्सेस के कंटेक्स्ट में उसको टेबल बोले. थ्योरेटिकली हम इसको डेटाबेस की थ्योरी में इसको रिलेशन बोलेंगे, प्रैक्टिकल कंटेक्स्ट में इसको टेबल्स बोलते हैं. ठीक है. और जब आप ER डायग्राम पढ़ते हैं, ER डायग्राम एंटिटी रिलेशनशिप मॉडलिंग, तो आप इसी को बोलते हैं एंटिटी सेट्स. इन्हीं रिलेशंस को एंटिटी बोलते हैं. तो यहाँ क्या क्या टेबल्स हैं? स्टूडेंट टेबल बनेगी, कोर्स टेबल बनेगी, सेक्शन टेबल बनेगी, क्रिएट रिपोर्ट टेबल बनेगी और प्री रिक्विजिट टेबल है. तो ये अलग अलग टेबल्स हैं. स्टूडेंट टेबल में बता रहा है कितने कॉलम्स हैं? 4. कोर्स में 4, सेक्शन में 5 कॉलम, ग्रेड रिपोर्ट में 3 कॉलम, प्री रिक्विजिट में 2 कॉलम. I can show you also. See, section, how many columns? Section identifier, course number, semester, year, instructor. See, 5 columns of 5 attributes. So these columns are called as what? Attributes or columns or fields. और इसमें जो डेटा है वो क्या है? ये फॉर एग्जाम्पल फर्स्ट डेटा क्या है? 85, मैथ 2410, फॉल, year 04, instructor is, faculty is king. So this is called a record or a row or a tuple. तो थ्योरेटिकली हम उसे बोलेंगे डेटाबेस टपल, प्रैक्टिकली हम क्या उसे बोलेंगे? रोज और रिकॉर्ड्स. क्लियर? सो जस्ट सी दिस स्लाइड. तो यहाँ पे हम कौन सा मॉडल यूज कर रहे हैं? रिलेशनल डेटा मॉडल. तो क्या रहा देखा? डेटा मॉडल यूज टू हाइड द स्टोरेज डिटेल्स एंड प्रेजेंट द यूजर्स. अब आपको ये थोड़ी पता है कि डेटा कहाँ स्टोर है? टेबल में ये टेप में स्टोर हो रहा है कि हार्ड डिस्क में स्टोर हो रहा है कि USB ड्राइव में स्टोर हो रहा है. इससे हमें क्या मतलब है? वी आर ओनली कंसर्न्ड विद क्वेरिंग डेटा. Are you getting? And visualizing the data. Are you getting it? So see, यहाँ पे entities क्या थी हमारे? Conceptual data modeling. Now this is called a logical data model or conceptual data model. क्या क्या entities थी? Students, courses, sections, departments, instructors. Are you getting it? और इसको modeling कर सकते हैं. एक diagram है, एक visual diagram जो कि हम next lecture में कराएंगे. Entity relationship model session 3 में और session 4 में. Now this is a relationship. बता रहा है what relations sections are related to what? Courses. Students के जो टेबल के स्टूडेंट टेबल के related है section. Why? Because students are enrolled in sections. Then course have what? Prerequisite course. Course का prerequisite नाम के courses वास्ते है. Instructors, faculty यानी teach sections. So there is a relationship between what? Instructor और faculty and section. So एक section table अलग थी. सेक्शन फाइल या सेक्शन टेबल और इंस्ट्रक्टर में क्या रिलेशनशिप? क्या है रिलेशनशिप यहाँ पे? टीच, कोर्सेस, ऑल दीस आर रिलेशनशिप. नाउ व्हाट आर द मेन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ डेटाबेस अप्रोच? सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ प्राइमरी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द वेरी फर्स्ट नेचर एंड द मोस्ट सिंपलेस्ट एंड इंपॉर्टेंट नेचर इज व्हाट? सेल्फ डिस्क्राइबिंग नेचर ऑफ डेटाबेस सिस्टम. A DBMS catalog, that means data dictionary or metadata, stores the description of your database, why your different tables are there. Every table has got a purpose associated, and this descripting, that means storing the description of the database, why the table is there, what is the constraint in the tables, which are the primary keys, which are the foreign keys, which are the not null constraint, कौन सा column unique है, ये सारा का सारा चीज हम बोलते हैं metadata. Then insulation between what? Application programs and data. So इसको बोलते हैं program data independence. So what database softwares or applications are you are accessing has got nothing to do with the what storage mechanism or how the data is physically stored. Data abstraction. We use either the relational, the most popular data model, relational data model, or we can be using the object-oriented data model, or distributed database model, और नेटवर्क डेटा मॉडल और हिरारिकल डेटा मॉडल. सो डेटा मतलब कौन से डेटा मॉडल आप यूज कर रहे हैं? सो डेटा मॉडल यूज टू हाइड द व्हाट? फिजिकल स्टोरेज डिटेल्स, हाउ यू फिजिकली स्टोरिंग डेटा and presenting the users with a conceptual view or a logical view of the database. Then support the multiple views of data. Multiple users, every user who's querying the database has got a different purpose. Clear? The head of the finance department, the head of the marketing department, the users of the marketing department, the employees of the HR department, the employees of the finance department, the employees of the IT department are accessing the same table, but everybody has got a different purpose. Then now sharing the data and having multiple transactions being done on the data is nothing but called as what? Transaction processing and concurrence transaction. So when I daily access a table, when you go to malls every day, thousands of users visiting a mall or retail store. Okay, every month, hundreds of students are taking admissions in university. So this is what OLTP, online transaction processing. So they daily have what take a backup data, store the data. Clear. So till the time of August and student will be what taking admission to respective courses in the university. So this is nothing but multiple transaction processing. Now, when it is not advisable to use the DBMS, the main cause of DBMS, high initial investment in hardware, software, training, and possible need for additional hardware. Overhead for providing generality, security, recovery, integrity, and concurrence incurred. These are the overhead means overhead costs are incurred. So obviously you want to secure data, you want to have database recovery procedures, you want to have database integrity, you want to have concurrency control. Obviously there is a lot of cost involved. That is why database softwares are very costly. A software like Oracle are getting it clear, or the licensed version of Oracle or licensed version of DB2 or the licensed version of Sybase will cost lakhs of rupees for an organization. Clear? So if your database application is simple, not much complicated, so it is not advisable to use a database. Are you getting it? Then actors on the scheme. Who are the main people who are there on the database system? Database administrators. Now these are the persons who are custodians or the controllers of the database system. They are the ones who are the most important, users who are the main, you can say, who are the control system or who are the architects for the entire database system which is being maintained. They are the persons who are maintaining your database. Okay, take backups, incremental backups, are getting regular backups, coordinate, design users. Clear, there are so many users when you join an organization. Clear, so database user जो आपको है access होगा, जो बनाया जाएगा वो DB ही बनाएगा आपके नाम का user. Clear in your organization. So all acquiring resources are in the form of database, tables, database management system. All this is nothing but done by the DBAs. Database designer. These are another set of actors or users. They are responsible for designing database, identifying the data to be stored, choosing the database structures to represent and store the data. And lastly, the most simple users who just access data, the end users. Sometimes they also call it clients. The persons that use our database for querying, updating, generating reports, taking printouts, etc. In these end users, you've got three types of users. One is the casual users. The second is the parametric or naive end users. The third is sophisticated end users. The casual users, बहुत लोग casual users होते हैं. They are occasional users or the middle level managers. The naive users, they use pre-programmed or scanned instructions to interact with your database. For example, your bank clerk. Are you getting it? If you see a bank, so there are so many clerks you're sitting at the respective terminals. These are nothing but naive end users or the parametric. And then sophisticated end users, the people who are the BTechs or the MTechs or the MCAs or the MBAs are getting who have got knowledge of accessing database, of constructing database, and so on. Then system analysts. So these are the persons who are doing the programming part. They are developing database applications. This is nothing but evolution. I told you that 1970 they got hierarchical data models, network data models. These are nothing but still now there's much become obsolete. Now the most popular 1980s we have got relation data model. Then from the 1990s we got and now we have got multi-tier, client-server database, distributed database, centralized database, web-based database, content addressable storage, data mining, and so on. These are the type environments. So these are showing the evolution. Okay, components. Now what are the different components? If you see, the very first components, case tools. These are automated tools used to design databases and applications. The second is database repositories. When I say repositories, where you are studying the data. Okay, the screens, the database front-end screens, where you are using database tables, the back-end part, the front-end part, how you're managing the databases, how you're managing the applications. There's nothing but database repositories. Then there's software DBMS, clear, which is used to define, create, maintain, and control access to the database and database repositories. Then database organized collection logically related data. So these are the components of database environment. We have got application programs, we have got user interfaces, we have got DBAs or database administrators, we have got system analysts or programmers, and end users, which I told you could be naive users, could be sophisticated users, Could be what? Casual users. So this is nothing but component database. So see, these are the most important database administrators. Then you've got system analysts or system developers or database designers, and these are nothing but the end users. Clear? So, and this is nothing but database which is giving you user interface. You can access the application programs, you can store data, you got data repositories, you can have access to the case tools, and so on. Now, this slide is very important. Sometimes interviews are asked that if you are a DBA or if you have, maybe some years down the line after being given complete training, okay, as an experienced database user or for monitoring the database, taking backup, you know how to take backup of your database, you know how to secure database, you know how to manage the concurrency in database. So after 5-6 years down the line, you have become an expert in data handling. So you acquire the role of called as DBA. So you are given in training, adequate training, sophisticated training by the company, by the specialist. Okay, to make you a DBA. Now, what is the role of DBA? So these are nothing but DBA roles. He administers the 3 levels of database. What are the 3 levels? The physical level, the conceptual level, logical, and the view level, where the users interact, and mapping between the internal and the conceptual levels, as well as between the conceptual and the external levels, which is nothing but view level, I told you. Third, DBA ensures that appropriate measures are in place to maintain the integrity of the database. That means accuracy of database, consistency of the database, and also ensuring that database is not being accessed by unauthorized or illegal users. DBA is also responsible for granting permission to the users of the database and store the profile of each user in the database. Lastly, DBA is responsible for defining procedures to recover the database from failures. So this we had already done. These are the advantages of using database approach. We can go through it. Though we have already mentioned it. Clear, these are showing you what inconsistency. If you see this, I'll show you very clearly. If I want a grade report, do you think that if you want your grade card or report, or you see your mark sheet, say even when you pass class 10th or class 12, what did you enter on the on the result portal? Only your roll number. Are you getting it? That is your roll number. Are you getting it? Or the unique ID or the roll number, whatever. So you even if you are studying BTech or MTech or MC and you are in BTech 5th semester, 4th semester result was out, then what you did or the 3rd semester, you just had a portal. They said that feed your what username, that is roll number, clear, and your password, and then you got your entire grade card. So don't you think that you have to feed your name? Because if you feed your name, there could be many students by the name of Amit Kumar. So just your roll number is important, because no two students will have the same roll number. Data model, I already told you, data models are nothing but type of data abstractions which are used to provide this conceptual representation of data. I could be having what the data model consists of: data model structure and constraints. Constructs are used to define database structure. Constructs include elements, data types, are getting records, tables, relationships among tables, all this and the different types of constraints such as primary key, foreign key. I'll be discussing all these constraints in the next lecture. Then ordinal constraint, unique constraint, and so on. We have got data models, conceptual data models, physical data models, and implementation data models. Now the very important is the conceptual data model, which are high level data models. Clear? We have got concept of entity, which I told you that student is entity, faculty is entity, course, there is a table of courses. Once you go, even if you open a university portal, or you say amity.edu or Vellore, vit.ac.in or bitmesra.ac.in or any university, clear, you'll be finding what? That list of courses. Okay, fine. Courses at what? 2 levels, the UG level and the PG level. Again, the UG level you could be having 3-year courses such as BBA, BCA, 4-year courses such as BTech, 5-year courses, 6-year courses BTech plus law, and so on. So entities here, what could be entities in that university database? What could be entities? Student is entity, instructor or faculty is entity, instructor is entity or faculty, course is the entity. Are you getting it? And then their relationships. So these are data models. Earlier we had got hierarchical data models, then we had network data models, clear, and then the relational data models, clear. So then now we are having object-oriented data models. These are the recent data models, and object relational data model, the most recent ones. So network data model, this is just a history and the features. You can just go through it, very easy to understand. And this, as you can see, this is a network data model schema. See, your course has a prerequisite. Prerequisite is also a course. Are you getting it? Student, when he studied the course, he gets a grade report. That is how he performed in that particular course. So these are merits or the advantages and the disadvantages, that is the pros and cons. So network model देखिए advantage क्या है? It is able to model complex relationships and represent semantics of add/delete on the relationships. Disadvantage देखिए बहुत important, navigate करना बहुत एक problematic है. Hierarchical model initially implemented joint effort by IBM and North American Rockwell around 1965, and this resulted in the IMS database systems, which was of IBM. Again, the merits and demerits or the pros and cons. Now this is the now Oracle. Are you getting it? Oracle, MS Access? These are nothing but relational database models. That is, we call them RDBMS, relational database management system. So these are popular ones. Object-oriented model. So ODMG and so on. Object Store, SmartTalk, and these are nothing but object-oriented models. Now, you know, Oracle 10i onwards, Oracle 10i, Oracle 11i, Oracle 12i, Oracle 12c, these are nothing but object relational data models. So when you are storing your database, what are the tables, what are the relationships, what are the constraints on tables, these are nothing but database schema. And when you are putting the data into the table, like I maybe by 8 o'clock I had full 10 data. So that is the database instance. And now by 8:15 I had filled 10 more data. Now the database instance has changed. Why? Because earlier you got 10 records or 10 tables, now you got 20 records. Are you getting it? So instance changes from time to time. So when you go on adding data in or you go on creating tables, your database structure keeps on changing. Clear? So this is schema. Schema is a description database. It includes the description data structure. What are the constraints? What are the tables? What are the relationships? ये सारा का सारा स्कीमा में आता है. इंस्टेंस मतलब कितना डेटा आपने स्टोर कर लिया, कब स्टोर कर लिया. तो जैसे से टाइम बीतता है, आपका टाइम ऑफ स्नैपशॉट चेंज हुआ, टाइम स्पैन चेंज हुआ, आपने और डेटा डाला. So this, what is this? Database instance changes from what? Time to time. It is momentary nature. What's it's very clear that database instance state refers to the content of database at a particular point of time. How much data or how many records are there in your database at a particular moment in time? Clear? So this is also called database snapshot or occurrence or database instance. So what is the distinction between schema and instance? स्कीमा बहुत ज़्यादा चेंज नहीं होता है. अगर मैंने 5 टेबल बना ली, ठीक है, मेरा स्कीमा है. क्लियर? मैंने बना दी और मैंने हर टेबल में कुछ कॉलम से एट्रीब्यूट बता दिया और ये कहा ये इस टेबल में this column is the primary key, in the second table this column is the primary key, and so on. Clear? Database state, when I say fill in the data, when I fill in data using insert command, that is I fill records into every table, there is nothing but database state. So as time goes on changing, more and people are added. For example, if he's at 2018, a company might be having say 1,250 employees, and now 2020 it has got 2,500 employees. Are you getting it? So the database state has changed. This is just a database schema example in your university. See, student is an entity or a table or a relation. Course is a relation. Prerequisite is a relation. Section is a relation or table. Grade report is another table which you made. देखिए अब ये क्लियर हो रहा है. दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल्ड एज स्कीमा डायग्राम, ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज रिलेशनल स्कीमा. व्हाई रिलेशनल स्कीमा? बिकॉज ये जो स्टूडेंट है, कोर्स है, प्रीरिक्विजिट है, सेक्शन है, ग्रेड रिपोर्ट, ये दीस आर कॉल्ड एज रिलेशंस और टेबल्स. अब ये क्या है, जो स्टूडेंट के अंदर क्या क्या कॉलम्स आप बना रहे हो? स्टूडेंट नंबर विच इज द प्राइमरी की, नेम, क्लास एंड मेजर. मेजर उसका क्या है? कंप्यूटर साइंस है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स है, एंड सो ऑन. देन कोर्स मतलब सब्जेक्ट, कोर्स नेम, course number, credit hours and department. किस course? For example, I am a student of computer science और एक subject मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ, ठीक है, embedded system, जो कि which is being what taken taught by the electronics department. और अगर डेटा बेस में पढ़ा हूँ वो कंप्यूटर डिपार्टमेंट पढ़ाता है. क्लियर है? फाइन. सो दिस जस्ट यू सी डेटाबेस स्टेट. देखिए यहाँ पे आप देखिए, अब हर टेबल में देखिए कोई डेटा आपने पॉपुलेट किया गया. देखिए ध्यान से देखिए, कोर्स टेबल में डेटा ये 4 डेटा है. ठीक है. सेक्शन में देखिए 1 2 3 4 5 6 डेटा है. ठीक है. क्रेडिट रिपोर्ट में देखिए 1 2 3 4 5 6 रिकॉर्ड्स हैं या डेटा है. So this is number data state. When you populate data into database tables or relations, this is nothing database state. फी स्कीमा आर्किटेक्चर क्या था कि आपका एक फिजिकल स्कीमा है जिसमें 3 लेवल्स हैं. एक फिजिकल स्कीमा जिसको इंटरनल स्कीमा बोलते हैं, एक कॉन्सेप्चुअल स्कीमा जहाँ पे आप टेबल बनाते हैं, रिलेशन बताते हैं, और यूजर्स जो एक्सेस कर रहे हैं, व्यू कर रहे हैं, क्वेरी कर रहे हैं, वो आपका एक्सटर्नल स्कीमा पे है. सो दिस इज नथिंग बट व्हाट योर स्कीमा डायग्राम, 3 स्कीमा आर्किटेक्चर. वेरी सिंपल. यू सी, तो ये आपका डेटाबेस स्टोरेज डिवाइसेस हैं. तो ये आपका इंटरनल स्कीमा है, ये आपका कॉन्सेप्चुअल स्कीमा, और ये आपके एंड यूजर्स. So what is purpose of 3 schema architecture? Mappings among schema levels are needed to transform requests and data. See, programs refer to external schema and they are mapped by the DBMS to the internal schema for execution. Now, you know, we have got data independence also, which is very important characteristic of database system. We have got 2 types of data independence: physical data independence and logical data independence. If you see, I'll show you once again. देखिए, आप देख रहे हैं ये इंटरनल स्कीमा है, फिजिकल स्कीमा, ये आपका कॉन्सेप्चुअल स्कीमा जिसको लॉजिकल स्कीमा बोलते हैं, और ये क्या है, एक्सटर्नल व्यू या ठीक है एप्लीकेशन व्यू. क्लियर है? एक्सटर्नल लेवल. तो अब if I change the internal schema, if I change the way, if I'm suppose I got data on the hard disk, now I'm moving data to a pen drive or maybe to a tape, will it have any effect on my tables, that what my tables are there are getting? मैंने जो फाइल बनाई है वो टेबल थोड़ी चेंज होगी. क्लियर? बस स्टोरेज मीडिया चेंज हो गया. So if changes are there in the internal schema and they don't affect the conceptual schema, this is called as physical database independence, physical data independence. Similarly, if I make some modification to the conceptual schema where I'm having the tables and they do not affect the end users, the people who are querying, then this is known as logical data independence. So it's very clear, the capacity to change the conceptual schema without having to change the external schemas and the application programs is known as logical data. Fine. Database languages. We have got 3 types of database languages. Data definition language, when I say create table, create view, create index, create table space, the different data objects, when you create them or define these, the command which I use, or suppose I got a table with 4 columns, like say employee is a table, employee code, employee name, address and designation. ये मैंने 4 columns define किया. No, I forgot to define the the column what salary, the gender of the employee. So I can add 2 columns more. This is nothing but altering the structure of the table. So creating a table, altering more columns, adding more columns in table, are getting it. These are nothing but DDL commands. Create table, alter table, are getting it. Drop table. Clear? Now if I'm inserting records, modifying some data, जब data पे मैं insertion करना, I'm adding more records, I'm modifying somebody's mobile number, somebody's address has changed, so I'm updating it. Or again, somebody has left the organization, so I'm removing that record. These are nothing but DML commands. So these are DBMS interfaces. And I'll show you very good important slide. See, this is showing you the typical DBMS component modules, which I discussed also. See, DDL, command statement, privilege, interactive queries. Are you getting it? अब देखिए ये आपका concurrency control manager, backup recovery manager. Are you getting? All this is nothing but entire DBMS components which are there, which make up the entire software. Query optimizer एक है, क्वेरी कंपाइल होती है. अगर आप क्वेरी देते हो, आपको पता, आप बस क्वेरी देते हो और रिजल्ट आ जाता है. फॉर एग्जांपल आपने कहा सेलेक्ट, ठीक है, स्टार फ्रॉम EMP वेयर सैलरी ग्रेटर देन 5000. आर यू गेटिंग इट? सो इट विल डिस्प्ले those people who have got a salary more than 5000. But how it got, what is the query compiler, how did it, ये सब इंटरनल काम है. तो इसके सॉफ्टवेयर हैं, ये कंपोनेंट्स हैं. ये I can be having a centralized database system. That means एक जगह है centralized data monitoring करिए, आर यू गेटिंग इट? तो ये आपका सेंट्रलाइज्ड आर्किटेक्चर है, देखिए ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है, आपके प्रोग्राम सब कुछ एक जगह कंट्रोल्ड है। और आज की डेट में आपके हमारे पास पहले हमारे पास 2 टायर क्लाइंट सर्वर आर्किटेक्चर था, जिसमें हमारे पास 2 ही थे टायर से टायर। 2 टायर का मतलब है एक तरफ क्लाइंट्स हैं और एक तरफ सर्वर है। सर्वर भी आपके कई तरह के हो सकते हैं। आई एम मेरे पास जितने भी काम प्रिंटिंग है, आई गॉट हंड्रेड्स ऑफ प्रिंटर्स इन माय एंटायर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। और ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मेरी ग्लोबल है। इट इज नॉट ओनली इन इंडिया, इट इज आउट ऑफ इंडिया ऑल्सो। इन इंडिया ऑल्सो इट इज मोर देन 100 cities it is there. So I've got print server, I've got file server, I've got database server, I've got web server, email server, and then I've got clients who access these servers. So ये 2 टायर क्लाइंट आर्किटेक्चर है। लॉजिक देखिए इसका फिगर, वेरी सिंपल। क्लाइंट्स का पर्पस क्या है? दे प्रोवाइड इंटरफेसेस टू क्लाइंट सॉफ्टवेयर। ऑब्वियसली क्लाइंट्स कैसे एक्सेस करेंगे? क्लाइंट सॉफ्टवेयर होंगे जो इंस्टॉल्ड होंगे, जिनके थ्रू आप एक्सेस करेंगे। और ये आपके क्लाइंट्स से मल्टीपल क्लाइंट्स हैं, और ये आपके सर्वर्स जो कि इट कुड बी प्रिंट सर्वर, फाइल सर्वर, TBMS server, web server, email server, so on. Now these are servers. Now 3 क्या? आज की डेट में हमारे पास ये हैं 3 क्लाइंट आर्किटेक्चर। व्हाट इज 3 क्लाइंट? आई शो यू। देखिए अब आज की डेट में ये है। तो लोएस्ट लेवल पे आप देख रहे हैं, आप क्लियर है? तो आपका डेटाबेस मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम है, सर्वर डेटाबेस सर्वर है, वो इंटरेक्ट करता है एप्लीकेशन प्रोग्राम या वेब प्रोग्राम से, वेब पेजेस से, एंड देन client who is having an interface or having a visual interface called as GUI, graphical user interface. तो ये आपका 3 टायर आर्किटेक्चर है। अब जो डेटाबेस सॉफ्टवेयर बन रहे हैं, ठीक है, जो मॉडर्न इन द लास्ट 10 to 15 years, वो उनका ये है। सेम चीज अगर हमारा डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड डेटाबेस होता है, अगर हमारा डेटाबेस नेटवर्क है यानी शेयर्ड है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है, तो हमारे पास ये लेयर से कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग प्रेजेंटेशन लेयर जो कि क्लाइंट, जिसपे क्लाइंट बैठता है, बिजनेस लॉजिक लेयर जिसपे जो कि एप्लीकेशन सर्वर, वेब सर्वर है कंपनी का, और डेटाबेस सर्विस ये है। Now we had initially we had got traditional models. Now the most modern models are object oriented, object relational models, so on. And these are cost considerations for DBMS. These are the cost. What are cost considerations? DBS advantages we've already done. Disadvantages. Now I'm just again having the what are demerits, or this cost of significant costs of hardware and software incurred in having a database system. Then reduce response and throughput. Obviously, जब when you interact कर रहे हो डेटाबेस सिस्टम में, काफी टाइम लगता है रिस्पॉन्स आने में, काफी लगता है, काफी प्रोसेसिंग कॉस्ट है, ओवरहेड कॉस्ट इंकर हो रही है, सो ऑन। देन सेंट्रलाइज डेटाबेस है, तो उसको इंश्योर करना क्लियर दैट एवरी बीइंग थिंग इज मेंटेन्ड एट सेंट्रल लोकेशन, तो इसका ओवरहेड कॉस्ट तो आता ही है। तो कॉस्ट ऑफ मेंटेनिंग द डेटाबेस इज आल्सो हाई। एंड दिस इज द लास्ट, आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू, डिस्कस ऑन द प्रीवियस स्लाइड आल्सो, कब हमारे पास हमको व्हेन इट इज नॉट रिकमेंडेड or when it is not advised or inappropriate to use the DBMS. तो आपका सिंपल एक छोटा रिटेल शॉप है, एक आपकी दुकान है, एक जो आपका जनरल स्टोर है, आपने एक कंप्यूटर रखा है और आपने क्या क्या आपकी सेल्स होती है डेली की, बस आप ये कर रहे हो। आप ये सिंपल यू आर जस्ट अ बिजनेस ओनर और यू गॉट नो ब्रांच, यू आर जस्ट हैविंग अ ओन शॉप। इस तरह के में आपको DBMS की जरूरत नहीं है। आप एक्सेल के थ्रू ही आप डेटा हैंडलिंग कर सकते हो। एक्सेल सॉफ्टवेयर पे आप अपना काम या टैली अकाउंट सॉफ्टवेयर यूज कर सकते हैं, सो ऑन। So this is what we summarized. We studied database terminology, database characteristics, how functionality, database users, data models, okay, 3 schema architecture, data independence, database languages, that is DDL, DML, DCL, centralized architecture, client server architecture, and the different work classifications. So all this was nothing but introduction to database. So this is nothing but the introductory part of database. Now we'll be coming to this next part, that is ER modeling, that is modeling database. Clear? In the next session I'll be doing that how do you design ER diagrams, or what is ER model. ER model, entity relationship model. Thank you. Have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have really enjoyed this session and you got inputs, please just write comments, or you want any improvisation in the system, in the video part, in the lecture part, just do write your suggestions honestly, so that we can improve, I can improve with time. And thank you, and you can subscribe to this channel, because more videos will following, okay? Because more than 20 sessions more will be at least there on database management system, which is the core subject, okay, studied by everybody. The student might be computer science with AI and ML, computer science with cloud computing branch, computer science with business analytics, computer science with data, cyber security, forensics, and so on. Whatever your branch is there, or BTech IT, are you getting it? Or even you are BTech electronics. There's today now BTech electronics also study this subject DVMS. Or you're doing an MBA or MCA, you also study the subject. So this is the introduction part to the first unit. We are on right on the first unit. So again, the next session will be following soon. Thank you. Have a good day.